Welcome to BL Stories, where romance, drama, and unforgettable boys' love come to life. Love knows no limits, and the best stories aren't always straight. Subscribe now and join our growing BL-loving family. The next morning, Alex drove me to work on his way to the company. Before that, he surprised me with breakfast at a cozy little cafe. I hadn't realized how much I missed my usual routine, just going to work, having a normal day. It felt good to get a piece of that back. Things between Alex and me were a bit quiet. We hadn't talked about what happened between us, and part of me worried that he regretted it. Maybe I was just overthinking everything, but he seemed a little distant, a little unsure. He mentioned his interview was airing at 9 p.m. tonight, but said he couldn't watch it with me because he had to head back to the office around that time. Still, he promised to stop by before going back to work. When I arrived at the office, I was greeted with warm smiles and lots of concerned questions. People asked how I was doing, if I knew who had attacked me, questions I still didn't have answers to. It felt good to be back, even if the curiosity around me was overwhelming at times. A few hours into work, I stepped out for a 10-minute break. I sat outside with a few colleagues, casually scrolling through my phone. That's when I saw a message from Alex. He had sent me a screenshot and a link to an Instagram post. The screenshot was a conversation between him and Emily. "Alex, saw your Instagram post. Even though you didn't name Lucas and me, it's obvious who it's about. You're sorry, but you posted it online? Emily, my career is already a mess. One post won't fix anything. Alex, and whose fault is that? Emily, I know. I'm sorry. I really am. We need to talk. Bring Lucas if you want. I want to apologize. What can I do for you to forgive me? Alex, I'll talk to you later. Got things to do. I'll let Lucas know." I clicked the link and read the caption beneath her post, skipping over the photo. "I've ruined everything. I know it's my fault and I wish I could go back. I let jealousy destroy one of the best friendships I've ever had. I exposed my best friend when I had no right. I know I can't undo what I did, but I want to make it right. I want to fix everything before I even think about starting over." I stared at my screen, brows furrowed. After everything she'd done, she really thought she could just apologize and all would be forgiven? Curiosity got the better of me, and I scrolled down to look at the comments under her original post, the one where she exposed Alex and me. I had avoided it before, worried about what people might have said. But to my surprise, the comments weren't what I expected. They weren't attacking us. Instead, most of them were calling out her. Even someone with a verified account had commented, "How is this any of your business? This is one of the most childish posts I've seen. Jealousy or not, it's wrong. What they do is their life, not yours. You should take this post down. It's embarrassing and petty." There were a few negative remarks about Alex and me, but honestly, I'd heard worse. The support drowned it out. I typed a reply to Alex. "You do what you want, but I don't like her and I probably never will. I'm not going to forgive her. Even if I did, I doubt it would matter. She's too cold to care." My break ended, so I tucked my phone away and headed back inside. The rest of the day passed quickly. When it ended, Alex came to pick me up, and we drove home together. Dad was still at work, so it was just the two of us. Once home, I quickly took my medication, the ones prescribed after I left the hospital. I had to take them twice a day at least. We headed up to my room and sat on my bed. Alex turned the TV on, but I wasn't really paying attention. I glanced at him, sensing the silence between us, and finally spoke. "Alex." He turned to me and nodded, giving me the go-ahead to speak. "Did we ruin things?" He looked confused. "What do you mean by taking that step? Was it too soon?" I asked, my voice quiet. "I just feel like you regret it." His eyes widened slightly. "What makes you think that?" "You've seemed distant." "A little awkward," I admitted. Alex sighed and looked down at the bed. "Honestly, I thought the same thing about you. I figured you felt awkward about it, and it made me feel the same. I just worry that we rush things," I said softly. "Was it too soon?" He paused for a moment, then nodded. "Maybe a little. but it doesn't change how I feel about you. Does it bother you? I thought for a moment, then shook my head. I guess not. Well then, he said with a gentle smile, can we leave it in the past and just move forward? I smiled back, feeling the weight lift from my chest. Yeah, I whispered. We can. I gave Alex a small smile and nodded. Yeah. He gently took my hand and pulled me into a warm embrace, a soft grin playing on his lips before he leaned in and gave me a tender kiss. After that, we decided to go out for a walk, just to enjoy some fresh air and spend time together. We completely forgot that the paparazzi were still on the lookout for us, especially if we were seen as a couple. Unfortunately, that quickly turned into a problem. As we strolled down the street, a group of photographers spotted us and immediately started snapping photos. We tried to get away from them, moving as quickly as we could. Alex suddenly intertwined his fingers with mine and glanced at the cameras. Then, without hesitation, he pulled me closer as we hurried back toward where he had parked the car. Later that evening, after Alex left, I made myself something to eat while waiting for his interview to air. There were still about 30 minutes to go when I heard a knock at the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. I stood up and opened the door, only for my eyes to widen in disbelief. What are you doing here? I followed Alex once when he came to your place, Emily admitted, fidgeting. I raised an eyebrow, crossing my arms. So, basically, you followed him here? That's not okay, Emily. I know. Please, Lucas, I'm not here to cause trouble. I just want to apologize. I let out a breath. Really? You think saying sorry now is enough? Do you remember what happened the last time you showed up acting like this? I know I hurt you. I really am sorry, she said, her voice wavering. I don't know what I can do to fix this, but I want to try. I stood silently, debating whether to shut the door or hear her out. My career's already gone, she continued. I lost the business deal with Alex. I have no job right now, no direction. Everything's falling apart. And whose fault is that? I asked quietly. What more do you want me to say? She said, frustrated. I looked down and slid my phone back into my pocket. I was already going through so much and then you made things worse. You don't know what that felt like, I told her calmly. I do now, she said. I've realized how wrong I was. I ruined something special, and you had nothing to do with it. I'm truly sorry. I hesitated, unsure if I'd regret what I was about to do. Slowly, I held my hand out for her to shake. She looked at it in surprise, then reached out. I'm not saying I forgive you, I said firmly. But let's end this. Leave Alex and me alone. Focus on your life, okay? Emily gave a slow nod. Agreed. Maybe talk to Alex. He might be more willing to forgive. I'm not there yet. She glanced down, then met my eyes again. Thanks for not slamming the door in my face. I'll see you around. She turned and left. I shut the door behind her, letting out a long sigh before heading back into the living room. I rolled my eyes and sank into the couch just as Alex's interview started. I took a deep breath as the interviewer introduced himself and welcomed Alex onto the show. He explained the context of the interview and mentioned that the questions were gathered from public interest. To begin, the interviewer said, after your Instagram post, many people wondered, if you kept this a secret for so long, why reveal it now? Alex sighed and turned toward the camera. Well, something happened between my ex, Emily, and me. You've probably heard of her? Of course, the interviewer replied. We've actually got questions about her coming up. Alex continued. We had a pretty intense falling out. She took a photo of me and the guy I'm with now. I knew she'd eventually post it, so I decided to share it myself. I figured it was better coming from me. That brings us to the next question, the interviewer said, pointing to a screen behind them. So, this anonymous post was actually made by Emily? Alex glanced at the screen, which showed the photo of the two of us, then nodded. Yeah. But she's already faced backlash for it. I've moved on and we've had a talk. I think we've sorted things out, mostly. And your boyfriend, has he forgiven her? Alex looked unsure. Not exactly. I don't think so. The interviewer grinned. Speaking of your mystery boyfriend, What can you tell us about him? Alex smiled. I'm surprised you don't know who he is. He's in a lot of my photos and has even been on the news. Oh, what for? The interviewer asked. There was an incident, Alex said, suddenly more serious. He was attacked, someone stabbed him. But he's recovering now. The interviewer's eyes widened. Wait, is he? Lucas Myers, Alex confirmed, his smile faint but proud. The interview went on with more questions about our relationship, how Alex felt about everything, and what he hoped for in the future. I could tell that all he really wanted was to be honest, to finally speak openly so people would stop speculating and, hopefully, stop caring. It was exhausting having to be so cautious about where we went, constantly avoiding crowds or cameras. Alex wasn't some global celebrity, but people were still obsessed with his personal life. I guess that's the price of being attractive and successful. Later, I called him just to talk about the interview. He picked up while at work, and we spent the rest of the night on the phone, talking about life, little things, and everything in between. 1 year had passed. A full year of being with Alex. I had never been in a relationship this long before. In the past, I would always lose interest. Things would feel repetitive, emotions would fade, and I'd eventually walk away. But this time, it was different. So different. Alex had this unique ability to keep me grounded. He knew how to spark a conversation at just the right time, how to calm things down when we argued, and most importantly, how to make me feel seen. He never gave up on us, not even during the hard times. Somehow, he always knew how to keep the spark alive between us, emotionally and in all the little ways that mattered. But the year hadn't been easy. We faced a lot, individually and together. My family struggled, I went through recovery, and Alex had his own battles. Yet, even though all that, some amazing things still happened. The man who attacked me was finally caught. It took months of investigation, careful evidence gathering, and endless waiting, but they found him. They even uncovered the motive. It turned out, just as I suspected, the incident traced back to a brief situation involving someone I had met while working at the restaurant. One of his brothers had taken things too far, angrily, violently, and I was the one who paid the price. It wasn't an excuse, of course. Nothing justified what he did. But at least now there were answers. He was sentenced to prison and later transferred to a psychiatric facility. After that, we weren't given any more information. As for Emily, things changed between us. We weren't exactly best friends, but we weren't enemies either. After Alex forgave her, I eventually decided to give her a second chance. People make mistakes, sometimes really big ones, and maybe, just maybe, they deserve the chance to make things right. We'd become something like acquaintances. Civil, respectful. And that was enough. Amy, on the other hand, was still very much Amy, strong, busy, and always full of life. We didn't get to see each other as much anymore, but we stayed in touch through video calls and messages. She even started dating someone, and honestly, I hope it works out. She deserves something good. After everything, especially all the time she had to deal with my mess, she's earned that. One of the best memories from this year was when Alex took me to Australia to visit his brother. We spent our days lounging on beaches and relaxing by the pool. At night, we explored the city and had fun with friends. It felt like the perfect escape from everything back home. It was the kind of trip where laughter filled the air and every moment felt like freedom. Later in the year, I stayed with Alex's family for a while to get to know them better. At first, things were a little tense between me and his dad. We didn't really click. But Alex's mom encouraged us to go out for dinner and talk. Just the two of us. It was awkward at first, but as the evening went on, the conversation flowed easier. We discovered that we had more in common than we thought. On the way home that night, he told me something I'll never forget. Alex seems genuinely happier since he met you. That one sentence meant more to me than he probably realized. Looking back now, the year was far from perfect. But it was meaningful. It was real. And I see a future with Alex. Maybe it won't go all the way to marriage. Maybe it will. I'm not trying to predict everything. We've still got so much to figure out. But what I do know is that I've never felt this happy with anyone before. Alex changed that. So I wait and see what the future holds for the two of us. And honestly, I'm hopeful. Thanks for listening to today's BL story. If it made your heart skip a beat, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Only here on BL Stories, where love knows no limits.